Hey y'all, my name is Jason, and my chosen career for this project is college baseball coach, or more specifically, college pitching coach. Something that pitching coaches do, basically, we write up weekly throwing programs, work with the athletes on the field, sometimes in the weight room, do some recruiting on the weekends, give tours to potential athletes that are coming into the school. Stuff like that. Basically, getting to work with the athletes is the biggest part of the job. A couple of the professional organizations that I thought would be very beneficial to my career. The first one is the American Baseball Coaches Association, otherwise known as the ABCA. It's a great way to network. They also have jobs listed for high school, college, and professional levels all the time, so it's a great way to find work as well. One of the ways to network is going to the convention that they hold every year. It's in different cities. Each year it's in a different city. It's been in Nashville. It's been here in Anaheim, California. I believe this year it's going to be in Minnesota. They have vendors selling all different products, helping coaches better themselves to better their athletes, stuff like that. They also have speakers um, scheduled throughout the day, every day that the convention is going. So it's a great way to get to hear them and improve as a coach in all areas. The second organization that I thought was beneficial is the American College of Sports Medicine. Because they are a scientific research organization, it's a good way to stay on top of what's going on in science, specifically because baseball is moving forward in a scientific way, more so than it ever has before. Over the last 5 to 10 years, baseball has really blown up um, with following numbers and sabermetrics and stuff like that. So understanding what's going on today from the College of Sports Medicine really helps my career in understanding how to help my athletes better. A little bit of the projection is 11% increase over the next 10 years. College assistant coaches, for college, they're looking to add a third paid assistant. Right now, there's only two. The third coach is a volunteer, so he's putting in just as many hours as the rest of the staff, just not getting paid for it. Um, and a lot of guys are struggling out there. I know that they're doing that both for baseball and softball, so they're trying to get that figured out. I think if they do that projection, the increase will go even higher, will increase even more over the next 10 years from 11%. Minimum requirements are a bachelor's degree, whether you want to coach at a JC or even a 4 year. The minimum requirement is a bachelor's. Some schools require a master's degree. Not too many of them, but most, but a good fair amount, just depending on what it is that you want to do. Speaking of master's degrees, one of the programs that I looked into is here at CBU is the Sport and Performance Psychology program. Basically, it would help in a way that would be different than what most coaches are familiar with. Most coaches, they coach from a physical standpoint. It's really easy to coach the physicality of players. Not too many coaches are very good at coaching their players from a mental aspect. They typically have sports psychologists to do that. So being able to add that to my resume would benefit me greatly. I would be able to play kind of a 2-in-1 kind of thing with my players. The second program that I looked into was University of Southern California's Science and Biokinesiology program. Again, understanding the science of things and getting to work with athletes and understanding the way that their body is supposed to work at a higher level would be extremely beneficial for me in my career. Some of the elective classes that I could take to help my understanding in my degree are basically movement classes of any sort. Also an organization administration and of physical education. That just kind of helps me understand better how to do things more so behind the scenes as opposed to on the field. So it just kind of allows me to be more well-rounded as a coach. Um, Going back one sec, the interview that I gave was to the pitching coach at Saddleback Junior College. His name is JP Glasscock. I've known him for a few years now. He's a great guy. One of the things that I really learned from him uh, was just that it's important to help our athletes, and that's what we're there for. It's not so much about us, but it's about them and making them into the best people and athletes as possible. Um, One of the things that he had mentioned to me was not really caring about what other people think, um, and doing what I knew how to do, and knowing who I am, basically. And I think that as coaches, we get pulled in so many different directions, that it's important for us to know that. And if we can have a better grip on ourselves, um, then we can help our athletes. So the interview went well. I learned a little bit just because we've known each other for so long. I had to ask him some questions to really dig deep, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it very much. Um, for the faith integration, the first video that really kind of stuck out to me was uh, the Tim Tebow video. Um, what I was drawn to originally was just that it was Tim Tebow. He's an old buddy of mine. I've worked with him for a number of years, and I'll explain that in a second. Um, but I really enjoyed what he said about it's not about who we are, but whose we are, and our identity being in Christ. And I kind of touched on it a little bit about, you know, Coach Glasscock saying that, not to care what other people think about me, kind of thing. And when I think about what Tebow said, it was more so, you know, if we understand whose we are, we understand why we're doing what it is that we're doing. And that's kind of what this clip here that I actually have posted talks about as well. Um, I think that if we have a better understanding of why we're doing it, or if we keep that mentality and understand that, hey, this isn't about me, this is about the athletes or whoever it is I'm trying to help, regardless of what it is that we're doing, I think we'll be successful. And I think that that's why the psychological aspect is very important, um, to anything that we do, whether it is we're a sports psychologist or just a coach or a physical therapist or anything like that. I think that the psychological aspect of understanding how to work through difficult times, is extremely important, and that's kind of what I learned from this class and the psychological aspect of things here. Um, a little bit about why I do this and why it's important for me, um, it is about the athletes. This picture here is actually a picture of my coach, um, who I've known for close to 15 years, and he's been a huge influence in my life, and that's basically why I want to coach. I want to pay it forward, not just pay it back, and that was what he taught me as well. Um, I think understanding where I guess I could say that with my resume, because I've been coaching for almost 15 years, I know it seems strange, but they kind of turned me into a player slash coach. Um, I think the things that would be able to benefit me the most on my resume is adding to my education. Having this degree once I'm done with this class will be huge. It'll open up so many more doors, but then also I want to add to my resume in terms of education to get my master's degree as well. And I am seriously contemplating applying to CBU's psych program um, to further my education there, just to help me help my athletes in that sense. Um, some of my references, the first guy, like I said, the picture that you just saw was Tom House. I mentioned earlier that I would explain my connection to Tim Tebow through Tom House. I have worked with many professional athletes. The first professional athlete I worked with was a major league pitcher for the Seattle Mariners. I was 16 years old. Um, it started then and it's been going till now. I've had the opportunity to work with so many different athletes from baseball to football. Um, and it's been a lot of fun, and I've gotten to do that with Tom House, and he's been my pitching coach and mentor and so many things to me. Um, and I'm thankful for him. The next one here on my reference list is Chris Malik, who I've known for about 5 or 6 years, and I currently work for at Santa Margarita Catholic High School. He's the head coach there. He played. He got up to AAA with the New York Yankees. He's been a successful coach for quite some time, and just took over the head coaching job last year at Santa Margarita, and won a CIF championship in his second year. The third guy on my reference list is Steve Miller. He's my pastor and a father figure to me, has been since I was 9 years old. He holds 5 world records in strength. Just kind of throwing that in there. That's kind of fun about him. So this is what I do. I've been doing it for a really long time. I love what I do, and I just want to continue doing it at the next level. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Oh, and Doc, this is for you. I hope you appreciated it. Thanks.